Hey there everyone, it's Val, and welcome back to the end of the day tour for Tolkiencraft II, Believers of Valentine. Well, this is actually the end of the day tour for yesterday and today. I had a small issue where my instance got corrupted again, my install that is, so I had to... That happened at the end of yesterday's stream, so I wasn't able to do the end of the day tour. So this one will probably be a little longer than normal. I will try not to draw it out too long, but we'll see how it goes. First of all, today I managed to get my infusion setup put in place, and then I got sidetracked by working on, well, I need to be able to get lots of heads, zombie heads and skeleton heads and creeper heads. So that meant I had to go and get some skeleton mob souls and some zombie mob souls and creeper mob souls. I did get the first two. I still need the creepers, but then I got sidetracked and working on all my other stuff, which had to do with getting those heads. And I'll go into that in just a moment. I wanted to recap what I did yesterday. Well, yesterday I made all the draconic stuff, so I now have a full set of draconic helm, chestplate, leggings, and boots. And I'm not going to go through every tool because, well, some of them I don't have on me anymore, because I did make the draconic staff of power to finish off that quest line. So that is in the quest book there, but I can at least show you the ones that I still have. I don't have the shovel, but I can show you the hoe, the pick, of course, staff of power. I made another pick because I wanted a fortune one. This is silk touch, and there we go. Okay, so I'll show you all these things, the GUI interface, because I haven't gone through all of them since the GUI interface was added. So let's start with the armor. The Draconic Helm, you can now tell it whether or not it should turn the night vision on, and you can also lock it on so it doesn't flicker in and off, which is very nice, because that was one of the things, I love the night vision, but that was one of the things that kind of drove me nuts before. So this is fabulous that you can now do that. And actually, as you can see, I also have some enchantments on here. I think Respiration is the new one that I added. I, of course, transferred this from my Wyvern helm. Right, next one. Your Draconic Chestplate. Basically, you can have vertical acceleration, so you can change that as to how fast you go up and down. Whether or not the acceleration is effective while sprinting. And lock flight. If you set that to true, you are always flying, so you can't walk. So there may be a time when you want to set it to always on. For example, if you are working in the void and you want to make sure and you're destroying blocks underneath you. So I can see the use for that. Normally, if you're working in the overworld and whatnot, I imagine you won't have this on, but the fact that it's there at all as an option is cool. Alright, so the pants, speed multiplier, I've turned it down because when the default of 1.0 is so insanely fast, and I run into walls all the time, so I could see if I was doing a lot of cross-country sprinting, then having this set to 1 would probably be very useful if I wasn't on a server, and the server, you know, would not have to struggle to keep up. And boost while sprinting. I haven't tested this, but it is defaults to set to off, so maybe it means that there's no difference between sprinting and not. You might want to play with that. I'm not going to do that right now, although as I was looking at it, I realized I hadn't tested that, so I couldn't say for sure what I did. Jump multiplier, of course, is how high you jump. Boost while sprinting, my guess is that has to do with the same kind of thing as the pants. And hill step, so you can walk up 1 blocks without stopping. and doing a little hop. I love that, but you can turn that off if you don't love that, so... Or if you're in an area where you don't want to walk off the edge of something. But that's cool. And I don't think I changed what was on them. Alright, I think I've already talked about the Draconic pickaxe. Of course, there's the dig speed, how fast you dig with it. AoE safe mode, if that's set to true, when it's on anything but 1x1 mode, if you're going to dig something that's considered a processed block, then it will refuse to do it, so it makes it a lot safer to use it around your base. Of course, that's the size, how big of an area it affects, and you can go all the way up to 7x7. And avoid junk. I like to keep everything, but if you want to get rid of junk, you can set that to true. And so here is your junk filter, is where you'd put in things. So if I say, you know, please always throw away any stone that I get, then it'll just be destroyed and not show up in your inventory. So that, very handy. Right. Okay, the hoe doesn't actually have anything in the GUI. It just, I don't know if he's going to add that. My guess is if he was going to, he would have done it by now. So it works the way it always has, where you can use it to flatten an area and till an area. And the dig speed multiplier, oh yes, for the Draconic axe, of course it has a, well, chop speed multiplier. Of course it has AoE safe mode as well. It also has a size. It can go up to 7x7 as well. And it also has tree mode. If it's set to false, then you only remove a single block, or based on the size. But if you have it set to tree mode, then you can chop down the whole tree by just breaking one of the bottom block, or one of the blocks, I guess. And that's wonderful. The tree will actually, the leaves will all instantly despawn, and you'll get all your saplings, so really quick. I've been waiting for this puppy, let me tell you. Oops. Don't go that. Alright, so last but not least, the Draconic Staff of Power, which is a combination of a sword, a pickaxe, and a shovel. So of course it has the dig speed multiplier, AoE safe mode, the size, and well, the size is pretty dang amazing, 9x9, so that's up from 7x7 of the yeah, I think it's 7x7. Hang on here, let me just double check this thing. I think that one's 7x7. Sorry, I'm a little tired, so if I'm being a little... Yes, okay, that's what it was. I was remembering correctly. So it is up in size. The dig depth, you can actually set how far it's going to dig down. I haven't played with that too much, so I'm not sure of the effect of that. Because this thing works so fast that I tend to dig deeper than I intend to in the first place, so I'm maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. Attack area effect. I was pretty impressed with this because I went, oh yeah, let's see how big you can. Oh my freaking god, 25x25 area. That is huge. Yeah, I can't imagine. It just, you know, this is the weapon that you want to be using if you're fighting an army. Let me tell you, yeah, it's a huge area. So that's the GUI interface for the various tools, and I'm trying to use this one, especially with the AoE safe mode now. I'm a little less scared about using it in my base, but I'm still fiddling with the settings to find the one that works best for me. I'm still digging way more than I intend to. A lot. Which, you know, can get a little frustrating, but it's just, you know, figuring out the settings that I want, and I just haven't found the right ones yet. Okay, so as you know, or maybe you don't know, I was having a problem with my animals dropping dead on me, because the wither room, my wither processing room, was just below the ground here, and it was just close enough that even after I moved it, or moved my pens, I was still getting animals getting killed. So I had to move the wither spawn room. It used to be just up there, and I moved it down. So now you come around here, come down here, and it's right here. And this is working fine. And it actually worked out very nicely, because this chest, which is actually hooked right up to the storage room, I was able to use the same chest for collecting, so it freed up an ender chest. Alright, so I did a lot of work in here today. As you can see, I have expanded my collection facilities. Where the lines of dirt are, that's where eventually the AE buses will be going to pull from the from these, but right now it's just the item ducts. I also upgraded to reinforced retrievers so that it's faster, since we'll potentially have more stuff coming in. And instead of running wires, I just put ender chests on the black channel on both sides. This is the one that's right above the wither processing thing there. So right. So then I decided, well, I really need to wire things up a little better. And so what I did was I moved the control for the actual wither skeleton spawner up here, so I can turn it on and off with this switch, and you can turn the grinder on and off with this switch. And they're separated so that if you want to kill them manually for some reason, like for example, I find killing mobs a really good way of refilling wands, as well as you know, sometimes getting heads or for other reasons. So that's what I did. So I don't control it down here anymore. That's where I used to have it, was just over here on the wall. So you can see that's the light for the spawner, or sorry, the grinder. And actually, okay, I will explain that thingamajig. I had been just using the actual transceivers. Let's just pop upstairs over here, and I will show you. I was using these, and I was hooking these up to all the machines, and of course that's rather expensive. And then in mussing about and playing with them, I realized that there was 3 different kinds of receivers, transceivers, and wireless relays for a reason. And after discussing it with chat and playing with it, I found a setup that works. So what you want to do, take your crystal binder, and that's if I can target it here. No, I want to target the there we go. So it says it has 1 out of 4 connections, and you only really need the one. This will relay energy up to 50 blocks, which fortunately falls just within the range over here, and it is linked to that one, and that's the advanced energy relay. And the advanced energy relay can actually connect up to 20 different things. It can't connect directly to a machine, but it can send power to another relay. And so what we've got over here is the advanced wireless transceiver. It can receive energy and send energy to machines that receive power. So unfortunately, it doesn't actually show a linkage to the machines themselves, but so you'll have to trust me when I say that I've linked with the crystal wand just the same way you link anything else, clicking on one, right-clicking on one, and right-clicking on where it's going to. I have linked each one of these to, oops, that's the wrong place. Each one of these, getting turned around, to the mob grinders. So that's why it says it's got 4 wireless connections, 1 for each of the mob grinders. And the 1 out of 6 connections is referring to the connection that is coming from our advanced energy relay. So what I plan to do is, as I add more mob grinders and extend it in this direction, once we get out of range of this guy, I'll add another one of these and just basically connect it down the line. At least that's what I'm planning to do. We'll see if it works. It should work. I should be able to connect from this one to the next one. At least I don't see any reason why I can't, at least until I try it. But so much more efficient than what I was doing originally, which was putting the more expensive doohickeys on each one of the machines, which would have gotten expensive. And yes, so I'm glad I with the encouragement of chat, I played around with this and figured out how these are supposed to work. Right, so I don't have these two all set up yet. They are basically only partially set up since I don't have any spawners in them. This one, however, is fully set up. We have a purple light to say whether the grinder is on or off, so each one of these has a purple light for the grinder. The yellow lights are for the spawner on the top, and I'll go in and show you that in a moment. And the orange is for the one on the bottom. So we can control them independently, so we can just spawn skeletons, or we can just spawn zombies, or both. And we can also have the grinder on or off, depending on whether I want to kill them myself. So here, on this side, you can see that I've got a strip here. This is just to keep these red alloy wires from talking to each other. So I just put in a stone brick strip to stop that. So you have a bare wire hooked up to your lamp and to the block on which the lever is. And then you have your color coding insulated wire, because this is what controls it on the other end. So here we have the yellow, here we have the orange. I matched it to the color of the lights. And then your bundled cable, which brings them together. That bundled cable is so flipping expensive, let me tell you. I went through so much wool. I'm going to have to be shearing those sheep a lot, or set up a spider spawner pretty quick. And if you follow the bundled wire over here, you can see it now. It goes up into the actual spawning room. So I'll take you in there in a moment and show you how that's set up. So this setup here is identical to what I have for the Wither. I've just replicated it. I've added in a sound muffler so things are a little more quiet. We have our ender tank to collect the experience from the vacuum hopper. And we have here, this is the black channel ender chest, which of course is going to the storage room I showed you earlier, and of course the hopper hawk, because it collects in a slightly larger area than our vacuum hopper does. The only reason I have both of them is because the vacuum hopper really is to collect the experience, and the hopper hawk was originally intended to collect the items. But since the vacuum hopper can also collect items, we might as well double up and make use of that ability. Okay, so I am going to fill all this in. I just left it open so I could show you how it was wired. Alright, so let's come out here. In fact, I might leave it open until I get these others hooked up too, so I don't forget. That's not going to show me anything. Oh, I guess I can come down here and I can show you. So here, this is where I would kill them manually, and I'm going to take that torch out when I'm done. Oop. Am I stuck? Yeah, I'm stuck. Alright, actually, while I'm here, can I click on those? No, I can't. The only 2 upgrades that I put on each one of those spawners is I added another star so that it ignores once I click on them I can tell you it for sure. Basically I added 2. There we go. Alright, I added the nether star so it doesn't require a player to be around, and I added a wyvern core to move it up to a tier 2 spawner so it spawns more. And that's all I had to do on both those. Now you can see the bundled wire comes up here. We've got the yellow because that's matches the yellow light, and that's the skeleton spawner with the bare wire to actually control it. I first set it up without the bare wires because I had forgotten that if you have it, the insulated is insulated for a reason. It means it's not going to have a charge coming out. So you have to have the bare wire on the end to actually provide contact with whatever you're controlling. And of course orange for the zombie spawner with the bare wire on the end to provide control. And as you can see, here's our mob grinder. Complete with scary red eyes. Now, let's see if I can get out of here without getting all annoyed. Let's get under. Come on, let me out. Thank you. We'll just turn that off. Or close that, rather. Alright, so let's just demonstrate. I had the mob grinder on, that's why the eyes were glowing red. But let's turn it on. Let's turn those on. And then we can come down here if we were wanting to watch. Right here. And there we go. We can get rid of the light, but as you can see, they're both spawning. There's the zombies, there's the skeletons. We can get rid of the light. Cool. Alright, let's just turn these off now. Wait for a moment, make sure they're all gone, and then we can turn off the grinder as well. Alright, let's see, is there anything else that I worked on that I didn't talk about? Oh yeah, there's a couple of things. Nothing major, but I figure I'll mention it. I finally broke down and upgraded my pulverizer. I still only have one pulverizer. At some point I'll probably add more than one, because right now this pulverizer is upgraded to give me maximum chance for secondary outputs, and that I did that so that when I processed my ferrous ore, I got as much shiny metal out of it as I could get. So this adds a plus 11% secondary chance, then a plus 33, so that's plus 44%, and that's plus 81%. So 44 plus 81, 125%. So that's pretty awesome. So it's not the speediest thing on the planet, but I get as much out of the secondaries out of it as I can get. And I also made a glacial precipitator so that I could get snowballs so I could make corothium, because I needed that in order to be able to upgrade and make this augment, because this augment is, well, requires corothium dust. Alright, now that is it for today. That's everything that I did in the last 2 days. Today was mostly spent on the mob rooms, so that's why I spent so much time explaining how the connections, in case you want to set one up like that yourself. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this end of the day tour, and I hope to see you in the stream sometime. You all take care now. Bye!